Hi, Pete Wadgen here from Next Level Wealth. I'm just at home today. This is a little bit off the cuff, so let's see how we go. I was just reading on Twitter a few moments ago, Scotty Phillips from the Motley Fool talking about how pessimism can seem smarter and it's a weird behavioural bias that people have, while optimists can somehow seem to be reckless, or bullish market commentators can somehow seem to be less intelligent. So in a world where not every single person is participating in this massive increase in global living standards, optimism can seem sometimes a bit either naive or even a touch cruel at times. But statistically speaking, things have been getting better. So if you look at global real GDP per capita over the decades, declining poverty rates, improvements in infant mortality, healthcare, life expectancy, education, murder rates, you name it, the world has been getting better as technology and global wealth improves. But there is a strange behavioural bias in that people find a certain comfort in being told that the world is apparently going to hell in a handbasket. And I think that is because it is used as a justification for inaction, personal shortcomings that we all have, and a lack of progress. But adults also like to overcomplicate things. So I could pull up a chart of stock market returns from 1900 to 2019, and my 4-year-old daughter would have no trouble in deducing that the long-term trend is just up, up and away. But adults tend to look at things in short time frames and overcomplicate them. And by the same token, I had a lovely old client down in Sydney who was in his mid-90s, and he told me how his grandfather had bought a block of land in Darling Point for a couple of £1,000 back in the early 1900s, and he'd sold it to lock in the gains in the 1950s for about 50,000 Aussie dollars. Today that block of land, it's got apartments on it, but would be worth in the region of, say, 30 million Aussie. So the long-term trend in asset values is pretty clear. But we tend to overcomplicate these things. So here are 3 lessons I think to take away from that. Number 1 is that optimists get better results on average, and that's partly because the long-term trend is in their favour, but also because they take action and resolve to adjust course along the way. The second lesson is to be wary of confirmation bias, because optimists can appear to be somehow superficial, and therefore pessimism might by default seem to be more intelligent, even if it's not actually the case. And the third and most important lesson is not to extrapolate present trends, because that is something which is always done, and it fails to take account of behavioural change, the way markets adapt, the way technology adapts, and so on. And something I've learned over the decades is that there is always, and I do mean always, something that is apparently going to cause the end of the world, but markets adapt and the world keeps turning. So for as long as I can remember, the world's been apparently going to run out of oil, but of course technology adapts and things move on. So that's it for today. Be wary of the pessimism trap, and if you want to know some more, check out my website below. It's go nextlevelwealth.com.au. Cheers.